Yes, people. Yes, people. It's not a joke. This is not a joke. This is not somebody trolling you. If you've seen it and you're like, nah, it's too early, I thought the same thing. That's not the case. The truth is, Donald Trump was just found guilty by a jury of his peers. Now, here's the deal. I made a little short about it, and I said I have a few things I want to talk about with this, and then we'll stop. If you're here to talk about it with me, that's what's up. If you want to say something, that's what's up. If you're here to talk about it with me, no big deal. I love to do that. But I only have a few things to say that I think are pertinent. Number one, it's not over. You do know that he loves to appeal. There will be an appeal, I'm sure. Also, I think one of the most important things to say about this is he was convicted by a jury of his peers. That's important after you listen to this.
We have some of the verdicts coming in. It is quickly coming in here. From inside, we are starting to hear that there are guilty verdicts. From our producer inside, we're hearing guilty on 1 through 5. 1 through 12, we have now 13, 14 guilty. 15 guilty. You may hear there are a split of folks here who've been protesting on both sides of this case.
Yes.
Some cheer, some boos. As we are now getting the information from the jury. We're up to 18 counts, 19 guilty. Remember, we have 34 here, 20 guilty. And again,
so you can see that.
So he doesn't go through the whole thing. All 34 were guilty. Now, this is not a joke. It's not somebody trolling you. This is it. We're going to go through a few of these and see how other people are reporting it. But before I do that, I want you to know that I'm not, using someone else's talking points. Number one, it's a jury of his peers. He was indicted by a jury of his peers. But even after that, he said he's indicted by the Bidens and the left and the DOJ. No. You're indicted by people who saw the evidence, regular people who came in, sat down in the jury box, and found it to be compelling enough to go to court. That's why you were indicted. That's who indicted you. Now, I guarantee you, he's going to say he was convicted by the left, by Biden, by Hillary, by Barack Obama, by his transvestite wife, and all the nastiness that you're going to get. He was convicted by a jury of his peers. That doesn't mean all the people that hang out with you at Mar-a-Lago. That means a culmination of New Yorkers in the state that the charges were given. Chosen by his own lawyers and the lawyers for the prosecution. I guarantee you that you will not hear the end of this as far as this is DOJ, this is the corruption of the left. He was convicted by the jury of his peers. Regular, everyday folk saw the disgustingness and the flagrantness of his criminality, saw the overwhelming evidence in such a way that they only deliberated for 18 hours, and 8 of those hours were spent asking questions to ensure, because I'm sure that they knew he was already guilty before it was over with. Because it was that disgusting. Because everyone he deals with is that disgusting. Because the evidence and everyone who's gone to jail for his disgusting acts were on trial. It's disgusting. It's flagrantly so. And his peers gave him 34 charges of guilty. Now, that's all I wanted to make sure you understood. I wanted to make sure you understood as you start to get that charge. I'm not saying there'll be riots in the street. I am saying that some of these people are crazy. I am saying that some of these people still think that January 6th people are hostages. I can imagine what they think about him. I am saying that they recorded people who incited people who went into the Capitol and spread feces on the wall, recorded them singing the national anthem, and now pray to it at the end of all of his rallies. So don't be surprised if there's a mild uprising or negative response to this. But when you hear it, when you get it in your feed, when you see the comments, when they say, hey, this is the DOJ, this is the left, this is corrupt Biden, Hunter's dick pics did this, remember to remind them, no, he was convicted by a jury of his peers, just like he was indicted on all of the accounts that he's on by a jury of his peers. Will he go to jail? I hope so. That's yet to be seen. That's yet to be seen. But they're felony counts. So if he doesn't go to jail, next time they tell you about the two-tier justice system, remember that. The only problem I have with that is, no, I don't want that. The only problem I have with that is he's also been guilty of defying the gag order 10 times. 10 times.
We have the verdicts. Okay. Count 1 is guilty. That is a felony charge. Count 1, falsifying business records. Count 2, also guilty, falsifying business records in the first degree. Count 3, guilty, falsifying business records in the first degree. Count 4, guilty. That's another felony charge, falsifying business records
you know how this is
in the
gonna
first
go.
degree. Count 5, guilty.
I'll put
That's
this softly in the background as background music for you to dance to. Hey, get your drinks ready. Get your drinks ready. I've got my coffee here.
Have 29 other felony counts to go, but that is 5 guilty verdicts by this.
Now, Melanie Murray, you say you don't understand how a felon can vote, but can't vote, but can be president.
Another crime.
What's even worse than that is all of the only reason why that can happen is because all of the people you've heard say, even if he's found guilty, I'm still gonna vote for him. During the Republican debates, was it in Florida? I think so, I don't know. They asked everyone on stage the question, if Donald Trump is found guilty and is in prison, would you still vote for him? And all of the sycophants raised their hand, and except Dirty Ron DeSantis said, they're all raising it. Well, yeah, I raised it too. This is the problem. The way that the right thinks, it's already cultish, it's already authoritarian driven. They're going to look around and see if it's okay to vote for a convicted felon. The thing is, they never believed he would be a convicted felon when they said that. But all they're going to do is look around. All the people who said, oh, well, he's not convicted yet, but if he's convicted, I'm not doing it. Look and see how many of them look around and find a way to excuse it. Like they found a way to excuse grabbing people by the pee. Like they find a way to excuse the friendship with Epstein. Like they find a way to excuse holding documents, nuclear documents, in his bathroom next to the toilet with a copy machine beside it. If you think this changes that, you're wrong. What this does change is the ongoing idea that every court so far has been proven to be true, and that is nothing ever sticks to Trump. Now that changes. He has been found guilty. He has been found guilty.
Guilty. Falsifying business records in the first degree. Only 2 counts left. Count 33.
Will he go to jail? I don't know. Will they appeal? Yes. Be ready for that. It's not over. How will Biden use this is a great question. It took him forever to get down in front of the courthouse and start fighting for himself. How will he use this?
Has now been convicted of 34 different felony crimes
by a jury of his peers in Manhattan. 34 felony charges for former President
How would
Donald
you
J. Trump,
use it, people?
convicted of 34 felony charges having to do with falsifying business records to cover up hush money payments to Stormy Daniels.
I would just buy the rights from CNN
an unbelievable moment in American history.
And give every single dollar that I've gotten so far to commercials
to cover
on every station.
Hush money payments to Stormy Daniels.
To play at least
unbelievable
once
moment in
every
American
commercial break.
The
30 seconds of somebody saying
records
this.
in the first degree. All 34 are felonies. Donald Trump has now been convicted of 34 different felony crimes by a jury of his peers in.
I would just have that on repeat. If I'm Biden, I just have that on repeat. That's it. I spend 99% of all monies to go on TikTok, to go on TV, to go on cable news, to go on YouTube. Well, don't spend too much on cable news because they don't reach that many people anymore. Everybody's on YouTube, even watching cable news, as you see here.
Manhattan, 34 felony charges for former President Donald J. Trump, convicted of 34 felony charges having to do with falsifying business records to cover up hush money payments to Stormy Daniels.